The insiders wrote the rules of the game to keep themselves in power and in the money. Hillary Clinton has perfected the politics of personal profit and even theft.
These corrupt politicians and the radical leftists got rich bleeding America dry. The Bidens got rich, and that is substantiated, while America got robbed. Politicians ran for office promising to protect American workers, but then they went to Washington and they lined their pockets with special interest cash. We will dethrone the failed political class, and we will drain the Washington swamp. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself.
For nearly a decade, that has been his case against Washington. Now, his own financial disclosure, is it Exhibit A against him?
Beyond the call of duty. Now, as I see my two beautiful sons sitting there, I think I'm going to give one to myself, one to them, and we'll have a threesome, okay?
So I think what the president has told us to do is use this MOU to sort of refill the world's oil economy, to refill some stocks, and then to see where the hand is.
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures in Wall Street. I feel good being back in front of the camera and bringing some fresh content for you guys. I missed a few shows. Life hit me getting audited with Florida, doing books and records, routine audit, as well as being a husband, being a father, and also taking them to summer vacations and doing things with the family. We were actually going to celebrate my mom's 70th birthday, which was in January, and we planned this out for the summer. But unfortunately, life hits, and her brother was getting ready to go upstairs and meet his maker. And all of a sudden, my father, as you guys know, is a pastor and did the road to salvation with him and got his heart right, to meet God. And all of a sudden, he has air in his lungs and he starts walking, and they cancel the hospice plans. They cancel the funeral arrangements. And he's not doing well, but his trajectory is to actually go into rehab and actually go home within a month. So pretty amazing how you can go from literally your deathbed to walking again. It's the power of prayer, I tell you. So thank you for all your prayers. If you were praying for my uncle Orlando, thank you. My family appreciates it. So what I did was, since I didn't see my mom, I took an RV and decided to go see mom. And what a racket that was, because RVs are expensive and gas is expensive and food and call it sleep deprivity. I drove there and back, and it's a 2-day deal because you want to stop midway and enjoy the RV and wake up to Cracker Barrel. We posted up in Cracker Barrel, had breakfast. When we woke up, it was so cool. I don't know too much about RV parks, but maybe you guys can school me on or educate me on what's the best way to RV from Florida and North Carolina. But I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to just share the truth. I'm just glad to be back in the cut of things and get into routine. Kids are off school. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. I have some information I want to talk about that I was able to read up on, and really think you guys should know about it. It's called quantum computing. And this is something that you really, really should pay attention because we've missed the boat on AI. If you're, we've gotten calls a lot lately about AI. Hey, how can I invest in AI? How can I grow my asset? That's fine. You can call us. I have growth funds that do extremely well in the yellow money space that will utilize technical management to get in and out of the markets better than most humans, right? Because they have the tools. So quantum computing is something that's really, really powerful. There is a ticker out there. Okay, so this is Art W. So this is going to follow companies that are already a player in the quantum computing, and we'll talk about what quantum computing is here shortly. But imagine buying a stock back in, or this ETF. So this is the ETF that follows the overall market of quantum computing. Now we'll explain what quantum computing is, but I just wanted to show you this. This is pre 2015. This thing was, when it first came out, under $20. It was roughly about $18. So if you bought this ETF, and present day, we're looking at $145 now, and he held it for the past 9 years. Question is, what's the next 10 years going to be when the public and the government starts applying this into quantum computing? Quantum computing uses, just like the word says, quantum, multiple ways to compute things, whereas OpenAI only uses one way. Quantum computing aggregates all the open AIs together and creates new pathways and tries to solve it for perfection in a faster time frame. You can apply this technology to finance. You can apply this technology to medical, to find different medicines. Like if someone comes in, they're going to say, oh man, this person has cancer. Well, let's look at holistic. Let's look at big pharma. Let's look at remedies. Let's look at home remedies. Let's look at all the different ways, compute it all together, and what's going to be the fastest way to heal. They're going to say this is a good thing. But unfortunately, they're going to possibly use this as another way to promote big pharma and cancer you up and just make you a chemical schmudge. They're just going to use that to their benefit. And I don't think it'll be healthy for anybody. So big pharma and financial is going to really, really drive this up. And we saw a Blue Cross back in 2025 when AI did take off, since it's correlated, because you need the AI to have the quantum of computing. So we saw that because of AI took off, it literally shot from $81 last year to October 10th to $182. So completely like destroyed the charts how it mooned. And before that, it was at $79 and it went to $120 before the next dip. So this is going to be something that we want to just kind of constantly take a look at, like how we did with KRE. This is going to be big. Larry Fink has already said that this is going to be its own asset class. So if you're calling my office and say, how can I invest in AI? I'm going to tell you, you're too late. You're too late to the game. That boat has already sailed. What you need to understand is that that everything is moving towards quantum computing. And the big players, I'm talking about the BlackRock, Google, Rigetti, IBM, are going to be the big heavy hitters. And so what this ETF is going to do, it's going to attract the next generational technology all in one basket. So you don't have to really follow every single company. Just know that this particular ETF will follow it for you because it's already in its own basket of stocks index. And nice thing about an ETF, you can buy and sell it every single day. It's not as big and doesn't have to settle like at 4 o'clock like a mutual fund. A mutual fund's open-ended, and it's kind of like a cruise ship. It can't stop on a dime. Where ETF, they intraday add and take away positions on different stocks, and they can buy and sell pretty much all the time to create an ETF based on its prospectus. Again, it's not investment advice. This is just something for education purposes only. Do not put your money in this account if you're willing to, or if you're not willing to lose, because it is securities. This is red money. This is a very volatile asset, extremely volatile. I'm just saying this just so you know what quantum computing is, and that there is an ETF that follows it. What I really wanted to show you, though, is interesting, because a lot of you don't even know what quantum computing is. And I want to just kind of talk about what it is first. So this is quantum computing. Now, what is quantum computing? It's basically the next step into computing power, right? So it's a new type of computing that uses the laws of quantum physics to solve certain problems much faster than today's most powerful supercomputers. And it doesn't replace regular computers, it complements them. So what that means is regular computers, they use bits, right? 0 or 1, and they have to pick between 0 or 1 to code it out and to find your algorithm or a solution. Whereas quantum computing, they use qubits, and a qubit can exist in a combination of 0 and 1 at the same time, thanks to quantum physics. So many possibilities at times. So basically what that means is, think of it as a maze, right? Well, regular computing, what you're used to, your regular OpenAI, your ChatGPT, it's going to use one path at a time till it finds an exit. Whereas quantum computing, it's going to use multiple avenues at the same time, if we're in a maze, to find a solution. And it will give you the fastest route with multiple algorithms going at the same time. So think how effective that is when we can look at a problem and find different solutions instantly, real time. And so this basically represents how quantum computing works. And why it matters is because it can break encryption, it can go through firewalls. It also can discover new drugs. So instead of going in a lab and trying out 1,000 different ways, well, now we have quantum physics, quantum computing that's going to solve for quote unquote cures or possible remedies. It's going to produce better materials and batteries. So how to make batteries more efficient. You're going to see this in a transportation service like crazy. Now you're going to see, oh, well, there's no deterioration after 10 years, 100,000 miles. Now with quantum physics, we're going to have the ability to have a lithium battery on your Tesla or your EV that's going to last 20, 30 years. So you don't have to worry about, charging your battery to 80%. We can do it 100% every night because your battery is going to last longer than you. So they're going to use this technology to optimize. And optimize basically means, hey, how do we get better cash flow? How do we get better supply chains? And what are some things that are some weaknesses in our charts, in our weaknesses in our EBITDA, weaknesses in our financial inventory? They're going to be able to use this. Accountants, airline routes, traffic control, anything that has a lot of information at the same time. All these resources will be allocated into a quantum physical, quantum computer style software. Think about how this could actually affect the weather. So there's more detailed simulations, climate models, and complex scientific problems. Whereas, hey, if this wind comes over here and this cold breeze comes over here and there's a humidity level here and there was a tsunami or earthquake in Venezuela, how all this is going to combat, where they're going to say, how many times you've been into a place where they said, or you saw it on the media, we didn't know this storm was coming. We just had a flood dump of 10 million gallons of rain, of water dumped in New Orleans or in Jacksonville, Florida. Like, all that is going to be solved with quantum computing. The crazy part is, once they figure out all of this, they're going to accelerate certain types of AI that already are good at data analysis. So basically, what this means to you is that cybersecurity is going to get really, really stringent and tough. Investment opportunities, if it's going to be quantum based, there's not going to be a lot of risk The only risk is if the quantum software doesn't work. That's already out. So portfolio manager will be powerful and take less risk because it's constantly doing risk analysis in real time. So there's optimization, better decision making. I see better profits from a portfolio manager standpoint. The deadly threat is having a real human monitor the quantum and having both at the same time. And that's what we can offer at Cortez Wealth Management. More importantly, how close are we? Well, we're basically in the early stages. So that's why I brought up ARKW, because it's an ETF, even though that is around $148 right now today, it should go up a lot higher. I think we could see $500-600 here in the new future, like within 6 to 12 months. And then from there, it can go 3 times easily. If there is a boom in AI, it will not continue in AI. It will go into quantum computing. So we are very close. IBM is leading the way. Google, Microsoft, your typical suspects, IonQ, as well as Rigetti. They're doing a phenomenal job of embracing this. And so it's not going to change everything, but it could be everything for someone that needs a change. So that is one infographic I put together that I think it's very powerful to understand that this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is what we have to prepare for. And more importantly, what I really want to share is how this really affects us. What do we do today to not just avoid quantum financing, but you can't really avoid it. It's already here, but we can at least talk about it and you can have your eyes opened. The Bible says that the passive will pay the penalty. If you just sit down and do nothing and not even acknowledge it, you're going to pay a huge penalty. So the track, trace, and control agenda, if you guys remember, I've talked about transhuman agenda. I've talked about Social Security. Social Security, yes, but more specifically, social credit score agenda and all this. And I even spoke about a dream that I had 6 months ago, and God gave me this word that this track, trace, control word and an infographic. And I put everything on paper and explained what this vision / dream I had, and I had to share it. I couldn't wait to get in front of the camera to actually share it. I thought I would sound crazy, but it's actually happening, everything on that dream that I had. So the first step basically is going to supercharge the track, trace, control agenda, right? So we have mass surveillance all up front. Mass surveillance. So already, as we see, quantum computers process enormous amount of data, like from cameras, microphones, your drones, your satellites, and a lot of devices in real time, studying, analyzing, and basically predicting your every move. So your phone is a wearable AI, the Alexa in your home, the Siri on your iPhone. Even GM has AI now that you can speak into that listens to the music that you have. Siri, you name it. If you can talk to it, it's recording your voice. So what this typically allows for the quantum system to, number 2, real-time track you everywhere. Before you even think about it, it already knows where you're going. More importantly, the digital ID agenda. They cannot do this without the digital ID and CBDC enforcement. So now your financials are tied to all of this. They know when you're buying, selling, traveling, or even about to speak, and it's going to be all tied to your digital ID. The other fourth thing is that, which is scary, it already knows what you're going to do based on your behavioral patterns, based on your Google searches, based on what you've been telling your friends because you have a messenger app on your phone or a social media app on your phone. It has the right to collect your data, your private messages, and your finances, and it will control basically you from the inside. And number 6 is the fatality, is that they have full access to everything, all your data, all your people, transactions, all speech, movement, connection, monitored, your stored control panels. Welcome to the digital prison without bars. So some examples how this could be used: a social credit system 2.0, financial control, your health passports, speak and thought monitoring, and supply chain and resource control. More importantly, why quantum computing is a double-edged sword. it's going to make life a lot easier knowing through medicines and what peptides you can take and what things are healthy. I think there are going to be some good elements to all this. However, we all understand how everything gets bastardized, right? You'll have better materials and better technology, so you'll know how to build a shed using different style of woods based on the weather that you live in. Maybe my shed needs some type of composite wood versus someone that doesn't have humidity in California. I'm down in Florida. It's wet and humid all the time. You're going to have freedom enhancing if used for good. So it's going to save you a lot of time. But here is the double-edged sword. The worst, the reciprocal is that you have undeniable, unbreakable surveillance. Who has control of that surveillance? The state of it, the government, elimination of financial privacy, the loss of freedom and free will, and a future where you own nothing and they control everything. They literally can hack your ownership away. So what we can do is we can protect our privacy as best as we can. We can ditch the credit cards and the blockchains and use cash, force cash. Catherine Austin Fitz says use cash. And she is right. I don't agree with her on everything, but she is 100% right. You can use cash and it'll force them to slow down and get off the grid. You can support freedom leaders such as this network, myself, my channel, because I'm always going to be ahead of the curve on all this stuff because this is what I do for a living. I love being in the technology realm. It's why I became a financial advisor. If you know my story, I was changing tires in high school and I saw a guy with a Palm Pilot, a handheld computer in the early 2000s. I said, what do you do for a living that you get to hold a Palm Pilot? I thought he was an attorney or something. He goes, no, I'm a financial advisor. I'm always looking at the markets and I need client appointments on my calendar and I can take this everywhere I go so I know what I got next. I said, holy cow, I need to know what a financial advisor is. And that's how I was introduced. And then I found I had an uncle that was in the business and I just asked for more mentorships and never turned back. So the tech leaders, you need to find good tech leaders that promote freedom and not control. And more importantly, we do not live in a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and sound mind. Right, guys? So we need to trust God, stand firm. John 10:10 says, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy, where I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. Amen. So we're not here to fear, guys. I just wanted to basically tell you that this is in the cusp of everything. And we're just not going to watch the future. We're going to be prepared for it. And if you want this infographic, just email me. I can send it to you. I think it's awesome. So yeah, you can email me at info@CortezWM. Of course, everything on this podcast is meant for information, education purposes only. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in the IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. So basically what I want to talk about today, guys, is the power of quantum computing. And Larry Fink went out and said that quantum computing is going to be the new asset class. And just so you know, you guys know I'm not speaking out of the hip here or out of my butt. You can look it up. I mean, I don't really follow the Economist and the Bro Investor sites. And Larry Fink and Rob Goldstein, man, does that give me cringe when I hear those names. But it basically says how tokenization could transform finance, and ledgers haven't been this exciting since the innovation of double entry bookkeeping. Of course, they're behind a paywall here, but 50 years ago, money moved at a speed of, actually, let me find another. All right. So Larry Fink predicts birth of futures market for computing power. BlackRock chief CEO Larry Fink said global demand for computing power is so huge that traders will one day be able to bet on futures markets for it. A new asset class will be buying futures of compute, Fink said during a panel discussion Tuesday at the McLean Institute Global Conference in the Hills, adding that the U.S. lacks enough of that capacity as well as chips and memory. We just don't have enough compute power right now. And he goes on and says how this is a whole nother asset class. And as we know with these Zionist guys, they're not doing this for, as a hobby. They're doing this because they want the power. They completely want the power to control you. So what does this mean? This means that we're not going to fear. We're going to basically just acknowledge, hey, they want to control us. We have to start unplugging. We have to start really getting creative on what we're doing here. More importantly, when it comes to your retirement, you only have one time to get it right. You don't have the ability to hopefully just put your money in a 401k, hopefully hire your woke vaccinated advisor that is a red money advisor that puts your money in the system, in the matrix, and then hopefully 20, 30 years from now, your money is there and you don't even know the taxation on it. You don't even know if you own the assets, first and foremost. And guess what? We've been programmed. We've been programmed to think that your silver is safe. We've been programmed to think your 401k is safe. We've been programmed to think that the money in your bank account is yours. We've been programmed to think that the reverse mortgage is going to work out because, the income is going to be there, not knowing that inflation is like a devil a thief in the night trying to destroy you. And we don't have an answer for inflation. We don't even have an answer for the oil that's happening, let alone the interest rates. The Fed now wants to raise interest rates low key and hope in hopes that you think that interest rates are going to get lower. But they haven't done anything. And that goes to show you that they don't know what to do and that inflation is a huge problem. And if if they continue to raise the dollar like it is right now, and this is not me talking out of the butt here, I'm going to show you charts. This is really concerning because as you see the dollar going up, and it has been going up this whole past 3 weeks here, and this is why silver has crashed and it'll continue to go down. Does this look like a stock that is coming down? You see a red little speckle here. Your short-term and midterm momentum is turning red. But does this look like it's going down anytime soon? No, it isn't. And so we have a pumping dollar, guys. I get asked the question, should I sell my silver? Should I sell my silver? What should I do with my silver? Guys, right now, you should possibly be looking at buying some. You should have sold them when they're over $100. As I said, take some profits. If you're older, sell half of it. Again, this is not investment advice. This is for education purposes only. And if you got some common sense, guys, let me tell you something. What does common sense say? If you're up in any stock, commodity, annuity, REIT, anything, sell a portion of it. Just like there's DCA, there needs to be dollar cost averaging. There needs to be DCS, dollar cost selling. Or in other words, take profits. If you're up, take profits. You'll never be upset. I promise you this. You'll never be upset for taking profits. That's why day traders are very, very good at what they do. They're robotic. They have a goal of making $1,000 a day, some $10,000 a day, and they know that stock is going to go up or down and they can make more, but they have a rule. When you're up, you are up. Your goal has met, you sell out. You do not get emotional. The problem with many people I speak to, they get way too emotional about a stock. And this is what emotion does. When silver was all-time high, you laughed at me for telling you to take profit. The greed kicked in, said, oh, you know what? I am going to sell. whenever it goes to 200 or 300. You didn't even sell 10% at current price. What makes you think you're going to sell all of it at the next price? It doesn't happen. And guess what? Quantum physics and quantum computing knows these psychological numbers. They compute it. And what do? The same people that are crashing the dollar are the same people pumping it up. So yes, your silver is going to go down, y'all. Call me crazy. Screenshot this. Do what you want to do. But your silver is going down. They're going to need it to push this agenda. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. Let me show you an index that has done pretty well, utilizing a simple approach of taking advantage of the technology, but also taking advantage of tactical management inside of an index that can go to treasuries, that can go to cash in the moment that the volatility index gets extremely volatile, which we've seen, that we've tracked it and we talked about it so much that you guys already know what it is. So this is going to, again, this is not an advertisement for this particular index, but this is the QQQ growth index. It goes in and out of the NASDAQ. This is one way you can follow quantum computing. You can follow AI and all the technology that is growing. And this does a great job of protecting your principal, protecting the actual growth of the index. And look at these returns. If you've never seen these returns in your portfolio, give us a call. We can get you access to this at no cost. So there is no annual fees. Imagine having access to all of these returns and literally with no fees. And if your annual anniversary decides to, if you're lucky enough for this return actually hits your annual date, your anniversary date, then yes, you would have been up already. So on our 1 year, look at our 1 year chart, we're up 12%. This was as high as 17, as you know, AI took off. So what this is powerful is that it'll currently move transition into a blended risk tolerant based on the market. So it'll go to cash, it'll go to treasuries. So right now we are in 46% in a 10-year treasury, collecting a yield whenever it senses that there's a market correction coming or volatility. It'll go to the bonds. And the QQQ, there's only less than 40%. So it's at a 60-40 blend, none in cash, or about 15% in cash right now. So this can change every single day. So we got 37.5 in the actual index, 46 in a 10-year, and 16% in cash. So as of to date. So this has done very well. And imagine having access to this with no fees and no risk. And when it's up and your anniversary hits, you get all these gains. If it's down and you don't have any gains, you get a zero, you pay no fees. Imagine having access to these returns. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results, and this is not investment advice. This is just a safe money approach you can find on greenmoneysolutions.com, option 3. And this is basically a NASDAQ-like index without the risk. And you don't need to buy silver. You don't need to buy precious metals, because there is no contract that says your precious metals is guaranteed. Your precious metals is great. There is no contract that says your land is guaranteed, that it's going to grow. It is all red money. You need a contractual guarantee with contract law to protect your money from the FDIC, from the quantum financing that is coming to track, trace, and control you. I've been saying this from the mountaintops for the past 6 years on this podcast, and I'm happy to help. I'm happy to be here. I'm still here. Your portfolio needs a portion of it pretty much guaranteed going into 2027. And as we are into track, trace, control agenda, we already saw Elon Musk saying that there's no need to work anymore. There's no need to save for retirement because the robots are going to handle everything. What he's talking about is that you will be indoctrinated. UBI is going to be the new welfare program that everybody's going to be in. Everybody's going to make the same income. The dollar will be pretty much worthless because they're going digital anyway. And so you need to protect your own money. How you protect your retirement will dictate your freedom in the next 20, 30 years, because they're going to strip everybody in some loopholes. But if you have your own retirement secured, you will be free. You will be independent. You won't be CBDC'd. You won't be quantum computed. You won't be financially inoculated. You'll be strong because you did the biblical thing. You took stewardship. You actually gave a darn and you were proactive. You weren't lazy. And that's what we want to bring with Green Money Solutions. We want to bring faith, finance, and family, even fitness and your health to the table, because the government, in my opinion, wants to take it all from you. He wants to kill, devour, and destroy you in any way possible. So keep listening to us. I'll be here through the ups, the downs, personally, spiritually, every amount of way. I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying I get this right, but I will tell you that I will be on it. I will be on this stuff, because if I see it as a red flag, I'm going to talk about it. And you guys help me. You guys help me a ton when you call and you have these questions that really, really put me in a research mode and advisor mode. So I want to say thank you for emailing me, info@cortezwn.com, for calling us, 813-448-3446, asking me challenging questions. I appreciate it. Don't think that I'm too big for you. Don't ever think that I am, you're not enough or you don't have enough money. I always want to help everyone. I don't care about the money, guys. I really don't. I care that I'm making an impact. And if I can be an impact to you and protect your money, what God has called me to do is sound the alarm, protect his people, get you out of the system, and know that the money in your checkbook doesn't mean true safety. God doesn't care about you pleasing him. He only cares if you trust him. The only way you can trust him is if you give your life to him. He doesn't want much. He just wants your heart. And every single day I have to make sure my heart is aligned with him, because, man, I'm a sinner. I have tendencies. My wife calls me. The Holy Spirit convicts me. I'll cry in the middle of a worship song because his love is that beautiful. He is love, all love, not the gay love that you see, not the indoctrinated love, the love for everyone. No, he truly loves you so much that even the thief next to him, when he got killed, he didn't even ask what his past was. He didn't judge him. He said, "You're coming with me forever." How much more does he love you if you have a relationship with him? If we actually paid our tithes, if we actually help our brothers, if we actually went to spiritual war for him, if we actually stood for him, if we actually were confident in our spirituality, in our relationship with Christ, to stand in the gap, to say no to things that are evil. If that's you, I want to say I appreciate you. I love you. This has never been about money. I make good money doing this, not podcasting, but helping people. I don't need to make money off this podcast. This is why I don't bring on sponsors that want to change my message. They have to be aligned with what I believe in. And unfortunately, that's like zero. That's why I only bring affiliates. Speaking of affiliates, one of my favorite affiliates is getmeleanusa.com. You want to lose weight? You want to better sleep? You want a better mind flow or state of flow? Definitely go to getmeleanusa.com. We're going to be making some updates. Going to be bringing on some new affiliates because I want you guys getting healthy. There's some stuff like retatrutide and some stuff that the FDA doesn't want you to know about, or they claim it because they want it, like Lily just did. But go to getmeleanusa.com. Definitely get you some peptides. They're all oral-based, non-injectables. And you literally can change your body, your mind, your sleep, and it's going to be awesome for you. So Get Me Lean USA, get you some peptides. This stuff is awesome. It's animal peptides, plant-based peptides, all delivered to your door, 100% natural, American-made, subscription-based, cancel anytime if you don't like it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I make a few bucks on it, and it supports the show. And I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners. Eugene, I love you, man. Thank you for your cash donation. That was extremely, extremely generous, and it did help out. So thank you so much, guys. We love y'all, and God bless. So how many times have we gotten lost in the minutia of the everyday life? We've gotten fat, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten complacent, not just in our faith, but also our fitness, maybe our finances, maybe our marriage, maybe our family. But we've gotten complacent, and we constantly need to continue to grow. And one of the things I was weak at was in my fitness. As a former athlete, I thought I had it all. My ego got in the way. I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Up until now, I have been able to focus on my fitness. For those of you who've been following me for 3 or 4 years, you understand that I've gained a lot of weight. I've used the excuse of having 4 kids, a marriage, a business, helping out at church, all these excuses. And I keep putting myself in the back burner. This is deadly. And what I love about this company, what I love about taking ownership, is that GetMeLeanUSA.com has the ability to introduce natural, groundbreaking peptides. What your body demands, what your body needs to release those fat stored cells, to build muscle, to gain your physical being back to where it's naturally supposed to be. We're not talking about big pharma saying we're going to come out with the weight loss drug. We're not talking about losing muscle. We're talking about gaining muscle, gaining your physique back, controlling your appetite, giving you the edge that you need to help you get your body back in check the way God intended it to be, by using his resources with America First products, with America First company that aligns and believes in what you believe in. Introducing GetMeLeanUSA.com. Get in. This is going to be groundbreaking, huge business opportunity, as well as a huge groundbreaking technology that is going to change the landscape. So I know good things before I see it, and I highly recommend you get in. All you got to do is click the link below and get you some fit, get you some lean, and get fit and get lean. This is not going to do everything. Of course, diet and exercise, you continue your walking, continue your protein intake, but man, does it make it a whole lot easier to get in shape. Look at me, I've lost 60 pounds, but this is actually fundamentally a great recipe to get back in shape. And I can personally attest to the amazing effects of this product. So go to GetMeLeanUSA.com. You won't regret it. You can cancel anytime. They're affordable, and yet they're effective. And you are supporting our show. You're supporting yourself. You're supporting a mission. There is an affiliate program attached to it if you would want to share it with your friends and family. There's a whole nother opportunity there. But more importantly, let's get your fitness back in check. God bless you. Carlos Cortez here, signing out.